It is very big. I understand why there is a jeepney inside the university, because it is very hard to travel if you just walk from Palma Hall to CHK. You will arrive to your class when the class ends.
I like UP Diliman compared to other universities I went to because there are many trees. The big trees in Sunken Garden, it's like a park. In De La Salle University, the school is very nice and big. The buildings are very clean too, but outside it, this place is very scary. The big road, the Taft Road. Yeah, so I like UP Diliman compared to that.
Student and professor relationship was really weird for me to see. In Korea, students don't go to the professors like that. We don't become close with them that much. Because, should I say respect? Is very important in Korea. And keeping a formal relationship is showing respect to the professor. But here, it's not like that. In my Com 3 class, the teacher is very close to in our class. They are like your friend. You can say hello and wave to them like they are your friend. You can even make jokes to them. It's very weird, but somehow fun and happy. But I still cannot wave at them. When I see them at school, I feel very weird. I feel like I am not showing them respect or something like that. So I just bow instead of waving and saying hello. It's really difficult. During class, when the teacher using Tagalog something in the lecture, they use it when the other students do not understand the lesson. So I will always have to stay after class to get extra explanation from my teacher.
I think jeepney is very important in UP because the university is very big. It is very difficult to go to one building to the next building. I am always late because I study in architecture, the College of Architecture, and that College of Architecture building is very far from Palmo Hall or from the Binson's Hall and everything else. That is why that's why I'm always late for my French 10 class in College of Arts and Letters because right after my class in College of Architecture, I have a class right after in French 10 and it's in the 4th floor. So I'm always sweaty when I go to my French class. I remember my first jeepney experience, which was here in UP Diliman. I rode tricycle before, but that was my first jeepney ever. So I rode with my friend and I didn't know how the jeepney worked, like the paying and all that. So my friend just paid for us because we sat like behind the driver. After a while, someone passed me money and I was confused. I just stared at their hand and money and their hand again and their money. Like, I was really confused because why is somebody giving money to me? And I just stared at them for a while until my friend took the money and passed it forward. And also my pronunciation for para po is very bad. The people do not understand me, I think, and sometimes I forget the words. Like, there was a time I said pera po instead of para po. Yeah, and sometimes I'm very shy to say para po to stop the jeepney Because I don't know, I'm just shy. So I always wait for other people to stop the jeepney instead of saying it myself. Even if I have to walk back a lot more because the jeepney did not stop where I needed to go. There was a time I needed to go to Palma Hall, but nobody stopped there. So I had to stop the jeepney when it reached the they're in economics building, which was so far, so I had to walk back from economics building to the Palma Hall. Sometimes I just ride the taxi. Inside the university, I asked the guard where I can ride the taxi, but they couldn't understand me. I said, "Where can I ride taxi?" But apparently, in the Philippines, it's not pronounced a taxi, but it's pronounced as taxi. Um, yeah, and I realized even if it's the same word, even if it's the same English, we have a different pronunciation for it. Because in Korea, we have this thing called Konglish, which is Korean plus English, just like the Taglish. And we use English words to describe something or to call something, like the taxi, which is pronounced taxi. And there's also words like shop, which is what we call for a mechanical pencil, or pants for underwear, and meeting is what we call for blind dates. And there's also hop, which is a way of saying if you want to go to a bar for a drink or something like that. And there's also the word notebook, which is an English word, but we use it for laptops and not the paper notebook that we use in school. So it's very confusing because when my friend said if they can borrow my notebook, I gave them my laptop and they were confused as well. And I was confused as well because I gave them my notebook, but they did not want the notebook. So I was confused. And then I realized that notebook is different here, and notebook in Korea is different from notebook in the Philippines. I say these words because they are in English, but people do not understand because they are Konglish and they mean different things in the real English words.
But you can also walk here because it's not scary here. It's like walking in a park, the sunken garden, because best place to walk because there's a space for car, bicycle, and people. And there are many walk lanes. But I noticed that people do not use the walk lanes. The white lines on the road, the pedestrian crossing, that was a shock for me. Because in Korea, that is very strict. You should only walk on those things to cross. And they don't also follow the stoplight. And the stoplight is always not working. That's kind of weird. Another important thing in the UP Diliman is the pancit canton. They are very delicious. They're everywhere in the university in the little houses called kiosks. They sell pancit canton, fish balls, chips, and soft drinks. The way they serve the pancit is very smart, where they stapler the paper plate to make a bowl like something like that. It's very delicious and very cheap. I think language is very important because this is the best way to understand each other, especially with people from another country. is the only way of communication with the students and teachers. But sometimes, even if I know the words but do not know how they are used by the people, I will still not understand it. Like the Konglish. And the body language is very hard to learn because it is not something taught to you formally in class. There is something you just learn by experiencing. Like how Filipinos use their mouths to point at something. At first, I did not understand what my friend was doing, but they explained to me that they were using their mouths to point just like how we use our fingers to point. Without knowing that, it was very confusing and weird.